So I think we can start from the beginning.
Yes.
Okay. Hello everyone. This is Max.
And this is Taka.
Yeah. For tonight we have a guest, Max, and I think this is a great opportunity to open up his perspective, and maybe we can share some events, what's happening out there, and hopefully it's gonna be some confirmation for how you experiencing for the past few weeks or
Yes.
lately. It's kind of podcast. How have you been for the past few days? You said it's been really intense.
Yes. I was called to do many practice. Yeah, I was brought to many different places, sacred places, for activations mostly, and healings practice, also with you.
Yep. Yeah. We went to Kramer Mountain in midnight, and we stopped by other Kohoma Hosen's place. It's a Sanat Kumara's place, and then we did some activations. We did some channelings, channelings, and meditation. And afterwards, we climb up on top of the mountain. And by the way, if you are interested in how we go up the mountain, there's a video. You can check that out. Links in the description. I think I'm gonna just ask what I want to ask.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I think from my perspective, he's really good at holding space for him, and you might say it's a passive way.
It's interesting.
It's not active. It's like more passive way to.
Yeah, last time I had this sentence coming, like I'm not holding on to anything, really. I feel that I can feel things beyond my body.
See.
Like it's in my body pretty much. So if I enter a space, whatever emotion is there, whatever energy, whatever thoughts of people or all of this, there is not so much distinction if it's mine or if it's just around.
See.
So I had a shift like this, like expansion of this, my field, I would say. So if other people experience these kind of things, like hypersensitivity, empathy, telepathy, I think it's a sign of expansion of the consciousness field. So I don't know if it's, I'm questioning this these days, if we are to hold, to have our own integrity. I think it's good.
So it's
Or
kind of
to
opposite to approach it.
Yeah, or just dissolve into this. Or if it's a mix of both, I don't know what is the right thing to do. I just think it's both human capability to have a lot of integrity within yourself, or to be spread out all over the place pretty much. So for me it's a bit more spread out. I have noticed that it tends to harmonize and bring peace around everywhere I go. I feel people tend to understand each other better. Communication is easy, and distance between people is not so much anymore. It's like a group meditation.
Just being there.
And for me, it's a very passive kind.
So it's not like your intention to hold the space, just happen like that.
My intention is usually the opposite.
Okay.
I try to get back into my own body,
Okay.
but because
That's kind of same to me. Just trying to just hold your space.
I try to hold my space, but I have a hard time doing so. Sometimes I feel I'm more like the space for others. Like I hold people inside my space, and they enjoy it somehow.
I have never seen people like you before. I mean, there's a people who is good at creating atmospheres, creating like more energetic feel, but when it comes to yours, it's more solid. So like whoever just goes into your zone, automatically these people just open up themselves, just more relaxed.
Yeah,
And
it's
they're
kind of
yeah, it's pretty hard to explain to people, but hopefully you can feel that vibe through this red lens.
from my perspective, it's been like I set my own system through some alchemy practice, my limitations, they dissolved, and happen to be all over the place.
It's like universe trying to tell you, no, don't talk about it. I have another following question. Did you expand your energetic field consciously, or it was always like that? Always you had this space around you, or you intentionally created, like expanded?
It's a bit of both. Like even before my spiritual awakening, I had this tendency, like in school or whatever, tend to be a center of gravity in the group. And people would be in my space somehow. But after spiritual awakening, it became much more conscious.
Interesting.
And far more sharp in terms of senses. Sensing other people or energies or entities, whatever. This was not in my awareness before I did all these practices for enlightenment, we can say, or this process of healing.
So it's natural. It's sort of like a natural part of yourself could
enhanced maybe, or became conscious. Maybe it's just this.
Yeah.
Maybe it was already there and I just realized it.
Yep, that's a good way to describe that part of yourself. For the past a few days especially, I've kept trying to do something similar as you're trying to do as a technique, because it's super helpful to survive in human society. Like if you can hold the space, and then like you don't have to be like, claiming your ego and then trying to explain about yourself, and instead like it's just skip that process, and then you can just connect with people straight, and that's amazing. And as a healer, I think that should be like super helpful.
It is. It felt very much for me like a succession of ego death brought me to this state. I see ego like a cloth or armor, and they just get dropped, or skins. They get dissolved, and the less there is, the more you expand. I think this is how I experienced it. So if you are willing to expand, you have to die.
It's so profound what you do. Since I came to Kyoto, there has been many energy shifts and many, growing up as a consciousness. I no longer look for any understandings from outside. I just try to share what is happening inside within me with people. And it's been less stressful and less conflict, because you don't have to claim or improve anything, and just holding a space and become projectile, and whatever happening, just let it happen and just be there. And sometimes maybe you react to it, and that's not a bad thing. Maybe there's some shadows, and sometimes you can just be there and just see this is just a message from the universe, just what is happening, what's inside is what's happening outside.
Very interesting what you say. In my understanding, I feel most people, they would experience themselves in between, or outside and inside. And I think a more truer way is that you are the background, presence, and first there is inside, and then there is outside, and it's just a continuum.
Nice. That's great. That's great way to explain what's inside and what's outside.
I think it's true because
Yeah, that's true.
there is no distinction between this and this.
Yep.
Really, even energetically.
Yep. This is just the vibrations. Like there's rings and there's another rings and another rings.
And you are in the middle, you could say. So in the way that inside is closer,
Yep.
so it can be louder. For example, I experience my own thoughts louder than well, it depends.
Okay.
But it's like closer, and then the environment is further.
Okay.
But I don't think there is any distinction, even literally.
Okay. I can have a question about that. Okay, now you can just become an observer of what is happening, what's inside and what is outside. But what if you kind of want to go more inwards? I think this is how you expand your consciousness, kind of awakening, like another layer. So you can accidentally you can tap in there and just like see like bigger picture, or just see something more clearly.
For me, it's not really going more inward.
Okay.
It's stepping back. Yeah, I experienced this recently, actually, this Sunday. Like stepping back from being entangled in a layer of form. So you step back, and you are closer to the pure awareness that you are. But it's not really inward. In a way, it's inward.
That's it.
But
Step back is actually best way to describe this.
yeah.
So how to step back? If there's anyone who would like to figure out like what we talk about, and probably it's gonna help them to deal with your current situation, so stress. Any tips or any techniques you can share
I
with
think
people?
there are some practices.
Yeah.
I use prayer a lot.
Prayer.
Prayer and meditation. And I think
So prayer means pray.
like setting intention,
Okay.
prayer. I think it's a very mystical way to say it, but
No, I mean it makes sense to me.
If you are truly ready
Yep.
to wake up from this dream that you are trapped in, and if you ask for it, genuinely it's gonna happen. So that's my approach, but I guess there is some mechanical techniques, maybe breathing techniques. Obviously, there's breathing techniques, probably 1,000 techniques to help this movement.
Yeah,
which I don't know.
It's really tricky because let's you're trying to manifest something and you have intention. Actually, you have some intention, but in another part of your mind, there's another intention, and there's like another things like you're trying to do, and like it's kind of chaotic, and that's what you're manifesting in this moment. So yeah, it's really important to just make alignment of intention in every single layers as much as you can, and then you can actually bring down these energies and just change like magnetic field. That's how I perceive what you're trying to explain to me.
And this is really terrible what I'm going to say, but
Yeah, go ahead.
I think the moment when we are truly ready to make this alignment, either we have some teachings when we do it out of our own will, or it's when we have enough of the will, when we have suffered enough,
Yeah.
then we are ready to ask for His grace.
It's always there with you. Oh, it's always there because you are the one. You having like every layers. But this is all about vibrating with another layers in the same time. And if you're trying to vibrate in your own way, sure, like there's some difficulties. But yeah, pretty much what he said. Yeah, I was trying to describe it in my own language.
But it's very good to have two languages to say the same thing.
Yeah. Actually, this one I just remembered just by now. You sent me a picture over 7 layers consciousness. Actually, I want to share with people, if you don't mind. Actually, like, it really makes sense to me.
Let's say there is this creation is has an infinite vastness.
Yep.
Horizontally, you could say. So each plane is an infinite vastness. But there is also infinite vastness vertically, which means there is infinity of planes, different frequencies of density. And in many cultures, they describe kind of layers. The Jewish Kabbalah, for example. So there is this physical world, physical etheric, and then the astral world. Then there are many names, but there is angelic world, pure energy world, and then there are spiritual worlds.
Okay.
And all of this is contained into absolute, which is the creator God, or this field of consciousness from which everything arises, which is interesting. It's also been observed in quantum physics recently, so that was interesting. As a scientist, it's true. And when we refer to the self, this field of awareness that you are, we refer to this. So the journey is a bit you can explore all these layers, all this vibration, but ultimately you are to find the ultimate consciousness, oneness that you are, but not as a concept, as something experimental. And there is infinite exploration to be done. There are plenty of techniques, I think.
I kind of feel like if you reach a certain level, then techniques are also really helpful, especially if you live in this physical world and if you have to maintain your physical body on your own, then it's kind of helping to have both approach, like energetic approach, like trying to be more sensitive about your inner guidance, and also just trying to use more practical ancient techniques to make it more authentic about everything. And it's more precise, like when you can actually experience and just find a like more detailed balance, and that's how you can just bring down like specific technique for yourself, because everyone is designed differently.
And the techniques or what you have to do, it comes from this absolute itself. It's like this absolute infuses inside you, and if you totally surrender to it, it's gonna take care of you.
Yeah, I think that's the most tricky part to surrender.
Yes.
Have you suffered by not surrendering something?
Yes. I have only suffered by not surrendering.
Is there any knowledge or any sharing thoughts to people
about surrendering?
Yeah, about surrendering. Yeah, you know, we know about like this is not good, like this is not helping, but somehow we just keep repeating that pattern, and we just choose to, you know, admit like, okay, this is or that nothing works, and that we have to move on.
Well, yeah, I have observed that the inability to surrender is because I think there is an energetical reason to it. People carry energetic amalgams.
Amalgams.